Amancio Ortega isn't a household name for most people, yet he has shaped the wardrobe of hundreds of millions around the world. If you've ever walked into a Zara store, browsed fast fashion online, or admired a high-fashion look reproduced at a fraction of the price, you've encountered his empire. With a net worth exceeding 80 billion, Ortega is not just one of the richest men in fashion, he's one of the wealthiest individuals alive. And unlike fashion icons who thrive on celebrity and public persona, Ortega did it almost entirely in silence. No runway shows, no Instagram fame, no press tours. Just an obsession with efficiency, supply chains, and giving people what they wanted before they even asked for it. Ortega was born in 1936 in Bastongo de Arbas, a small village in northern Spain. He grew up poor, the son of a railway worker, and left school at age 14 to work as a delivery boy for a shirtmaker in La Coruña. It was here, in the gritty backrooms of tailor shops, that Ortega learned the fundamentals of garment construction, customer service, and, perhaps most crucially, the inefficiencies of the traditional fashion world. While others were dreaming of Paris catwalks, he was learning how to sew, sell, and scale. His first business was modest, a company called Confeccions Goa, launched in 1972, which sold quilted bathrobes, but Ortega's ambitions ran deeper. In 1975, he opened the first Zara store with his then-wife Rosalia Mera. The idea was radical: sell well-designed, fashionable clothes at affordable prices, and get them to stores faster than anyone else. At the time, fashion retailers worked on long seasonal cycles. Ortega broke the model completely. He brought in the concept of fast fashion before it even had a name. Unlike traditional retailers that forecast trends months in advance, Ortega's approach was reactive, dynamic, and data-driven. Zara stores would constantly receive fresh inventory, often twice a week, and customer behavior in one location could directly influence what was designed and manufactured next. He built a logistics network so tight, a design seen on the runway could be reproduced, shipped, and sold in stores within 2 weeks. This closed feedback loop became the foundation of Inditex, the parent company Ortega founded, which would later own brands like Massimo Dutti, Bershka, Pull & Bear, and Stradivarius. The secret to Ortega's empire wasn't just affordability, it was responsiveness. He built factories in Spain and nearby countries like Portugal and Morocco, allowing for ultra-fast restocking. Designs were kept deliberately simple and flexible, so they could be adapted quickly. And by owning a significant portion of the production chain, from design to distribution, Ortega was able to cut out middlemen, avoid overstock, and control costs. This high-efficiency model was light years ahead of the traditional fashion industry and would go on to inspire and disrupt retailers worldwide. Ortega also made a bold bet on vertical integration, owning not just manufacturing but also the retail space. Zara stores were located in prime real estate zones, always in high footfall areas, often beside luxury retailers. This positioning gave the brand a premium image despite its budget-friendly prices. Unlike his competitors who outsourced production to Asia and waited months for shipments, Ortega kept it close to home. As a result, he could pivot instantly when a design wasn't selling, drastically reducing waste and markdowns. This flexibility helped Zara thrive in both booms and recessions. By the late 1990s, Inditex was expanding rapidly throughout Europe, and in 2001 it went public. Yet despite becoming one of the world's wealthiest men, Ortega remained deeply private. He gave only a handful of interviews, dressed modestly, often in the same blue blazer and white shirt, and shunned public appearances. While other fashion moguls built brands around their personalities, Ortega disappeared into the fabric of his company. Even today, he's rarely seen at public events, and when he stepped down as Inditex chairman in 2011, he simply walked into the office and handed over the reins. No speeches, no fanfare. Still, his business instincts remained sharp. Ortega funneled his growing fortune into real estate, becoming one of the largest property owners in Europe and the US. His private investment firm, Pontegadia, controls billions in high-end properties across London, New York, Madrid, Chicago, and Miami. These aren't just any properties. We're talking luxury office towers, high-end retail spaces, and five-star hotels. In many ways, Ortega has quietly become as dominant in global real estate as he is in fashion. His holdings generate billions in passive income every year, making his fortune even more resilient. What makes Ortega's story so remarkable is the contrast between his modest persona and massive influence. He's a billionaire who doesn't own a yacht, avoids press conferences, and once reportedly waited in line at a cafeteria with his factory workers. His success wasn't built on charisma or connections. It was built on logistics, timing, and reading the customer better than anyone else. That clarity of purpose and his willingness to reject traditional fashion dogma allowed him to completely upend how the fashion world operates. But Ortega's rise hasn't been without criticism. Zara and Inditex have faced labor and environmental concerns, like most fast fashion giants. Critics have pointed to factory conditions in supplier countries, accusations of plagiarism from independent designers, and the sustainability challenges posed by producing millions of garments per week. While Inditex has taken steps to address these, including pledging to use more sustainable materials and improve transparency, the fast fashion model inherently clashes with long-term environmental goals. Ortega, ever silent, rarely responds publicly to these criticisms. His company's approach has been to quietly course, correct, or let the numbers speak for themselves. Today, Inditex operates over 7,000 stores in more than 90 countries, and Ortega's fortune continues to grow despite stepping back from daily operations. His daughter, Amancio Ortega, has slowly taken on a more public role in the company, reflecting both continuity and evolution. While she brings a younger, more contemporary image to the brand, the core principles, speed, simplicity, and control, remain firmly rooted in her father's blueprint. What's even more intriguing is Ortega's timing and discipline. Unlike many billionaires who gamble on vanity projects or media empires, Ortega has kept his empire streamlined. He doesn't chase tech trends or attempt to dominate unrelated industries. He's not interested in flashy launches, cryptocurrencies, or social media startups. Instead, his fortune grows quietly through clothing, logistics, and some of the most strategic real estate investments on the planet. In an age where attention is currency, Ortega proves that silence can be more powerful than noise. Even now, in his late 80s, Ortega's influence is everywhere, not through slogans or interviews, but through retail systems that countless other brands now try to imitate. His legacy isn't tied to a face or personality. It's embedded in how the fashion supply chain has evolved, in how consumers expect to see new products weekly, and in how fast fashion became not just a business model, but a global phenomenon. In a world driven by visibility, Ortega's invisibility is his signature. He built a fashion dynasty not with fabric and flair, but with spreadsheets, supply chains, and a vision that understood human behavior better than anyone else. While luxury fashion brands chase exclusivity, Ortega democratized style and became richer than most of them combined. If there's one lesson to draw from Amancio Ortega's journey, it's this: you don't need to be loud to be legendary. You don't need to be known to be powerful. You just need to understand your customer, master your systems, and let your results do the talking. And that is exactly how Ortega became the richest man in fashion, not by wearing the crown, but by quietly owning the kingdom.